My guest in studio is the Honorable Lante Bannerman. You're welcome to Point Blank.
Thank you, Mark.
Anytime I see you, I remember the president's last campaign to you when he said that Muntuma ni Lante Vanderpoy. And he said, Mankanu ye kra na ni Lante Vanderpoy diemi deni ye. How are you?
I'm fine, Omar.
Anytime I see you, that's what I remember. And I'm thinking maybe that's why you lost the election.
It's in politics.
Because the president went to do the same thing as in North. He went to mention a different candidate instead of the candidate he wanted to. And maybe that's what worried you.
I think that in politics, some of these things happen. You take the highs and the lows as and when they come. I have taken it in my stride. I've moved on. I think it's in the past. It could have been a part. We can't take it away, but
it was a slip of tongue, right?
Yes, it's normal with it. It is a genuine mistake. Something you never expected to happen, but it happened. So you take it in your stride. Like I said, the highs and lows in politics.
You looked shocked. The look on your face that day.
Obviously, and it's human, you know.
I know. But anyway, how are you doing? How have you been since the defeat of 2020?
It's been good. God has been good. I've taken the opportunity to reflect a lot.
Okay.
Tried also to improve upon myself academically in every way I could. I've taken the opportunity to go back to school.
To improve yourself.
Exactly.
I see.
And to reflect a lot about the constituency and the way forward.
I see.
I would say it's not been bad.
Your constituency is the heart of Accra, isn't it? You have a slum part of your constituency, you have the business part of the constituency, you have the fishing part of the constituency. Your constituency is a complex one, isn't it?
It's a very complex one.
So what new things have you learned over the period? Like I said, in politics a lot happens. And what I have learned so far is to live with people in the right way. Politics, like everybody knows, is very complex, like you have said. And in the course of the period, you could have even stepped on a lot of toes without knowing. You could have taken some very good decisions that might have not gone well with people and all that. And in doing that, it will cause a lot of problems for you. I believe that as a people and as a party, we should be able to understand each other and move on. Whatever has happened in the past, I think that we should take it in our strides. Yes, I might step on your foot, you might step on my foot, but at the end of the day, it's the party's cohesion, the party's unity that we are all looking for. What I've learned in the period that I've done this is human management, how to live with the people, how to knowing their concerns, managing them, living with them and all that. It's not been easy, but Umaru, we are managing. Okay, on election night, I recall your constituency was one of the places where violence was recorded. Your member of parliament said he was arrested and locked up somewhere. The police people came to his house or something to that effect. It was Butu in Odododiodioo on December 7 into December 8, 2020. What happened? You were a candidate in that election. Do you recall what happened?
I recall vividly what happened, and I get a little emotional when it gets to this because I lost party folks, people that I don't think it's in the interest of anybody to want to go to parliament at the expense of other people's lives. And it's part of the reflections that I've done, and I believe that going forward, I wouldn't want to see such things happening again, and I hope that my brothers on the other side will also see that these things are not worth it. You don't have to go to parliament at the expense of somebody's life and all that. On the day, I remember when the results started trickling in from the NDC stronghold, we were doing much, much better than we had done in all elections. Even at the time we won in Odododiodioo, our results from the NDC strongholds were much, much, much better. So our people thought it was a done deal because once we get our votes from our strongholds, then we're going to make it. But what was obvious to a lot of them was the fact that because it was declared a holiday, most of them didn't turn out. Yes. And we couldn't get the numbers that we were expecting from them. So they started jubilating. In the course of the expectations that they had, they started jubilating and went on a jamboree. they got to a point and people started spraying guns into their midst. And fortunately, let me say that I was in the leading the people when that happened. We got to the party office and I decided to go and see what the coalition is coming up with. So they continued. I said this with a lot of pain, that it could have been that I would have even been in court in the mess. But God knows best.
So you were jubilating even before victory was declared?
That's what my people
But you're a politician.
No, I wasn't jubilating. I went to the EC office because we were expecting them to start a coalition. So my people were calling on me. So when I got there and I was coming from the EC office, the people were following me. I was not in the melee. I was not there. But then when we were coming...
But why say you're leading them?
No, from the EC office. I was returning from the EC office, the coalition center, to make sure that, because the EC officer was not present, so they had not really started. So that when I was coming back, they were following me. That's why I said... So, but they were then, we were getting our results from the NDC strongholds, and we knew that it was better. So it's not like I was leading and thinking that I had won. No.
Okay.
No.
You belonged at the time, and you still belong to the party that won the election. Any violence that is recorded that night is attributed to either the police or the military. Your party is in power, so it would be fair to say that you are the one who brought the guns to the constituency to come and shoot people. Your MP said he had to go and hide, and his house was ransacked, and his family were assaulted and all of that.
Mara, I wish I would not go into this because the case is in court, and the MP is an accused.
Okay.
Because his hotel room then that was searched. He was living in a hotel at the time in the constituency. The place was searched at the time. I don't want to go into details.
Okay.
So the man stand accused, and I wouldn't want to be.
Are you sure that we'll not see a repetition of that? Because Odododiodioo is like a hotbed. That tag is not a good one for your constituency.
At all. And anybody that knows Lante Bannerman, for that matter, Nibana, as politically known, will attest to the fact that I'm not the kind of person that will involve in any of such things. Unfortunately, these things have been happening. And Omar, I don't want... You see, these things are very emotional to me. In 2016, you are aware that I was attacked at gunpoint by then the sports minister, who is the MP. So I get emotional when I talk about these things. I just don't want to go into that because I don't expect it to happen again. Going forward, in fact, my age in 2016 is not the same age now. I've grown a little, and I believe that my brother too has advanced in age. So we should be able to move away from some of these things.
Are you related, the two of you?
As far as I'm concerned, Gas, once you mention your name, the clan house that you come is known.
Okay.
We bear the same name, Lante. We come from a particular clan house, which is Lante Janwe. So,
but you're not directly like brother and brother or cousin or from the same home.
Not at
but
all.
It's possible they are from the same clan, but not from the same home. Okay, just wanted to be sure. How did you do in 2016 in terms of the vote compared to 2020? Would you say you were doing better or you retrogressed?
I would say I've done better. Because in 2016, the difference between the NDC candidate and myself was 9,800 and something. In 2020, it's 6,500.
So you closed the gap?
I closed the gap.
Even though there's still a huge margin there?
There's still a huge margin.
What's the total vote population generally?
It's 105,000 now.
That's a big number.
That's a big number.
So losing by 6,000 is not that big?
Let me say that...
it means that you've done well.
I wouldn't say I've done well. You go into an election to win.
So since you've lost, you've lost.
So since you've lost, you lost. The thing is that there were a couple of mistakes that I might have made as a human.
Okay.
But by and large, you can't take it away that the holiday took away a chunk of our voters. Which
what holiday?
You know, Farmers' Day is celebrated on the first Friday of every December in every year. In election years, the Farmers' Day, the celebration is moved to the first Friday in November, but the holiday for the farmers is maintained still for the first Friday in December. In 2020, which was an election year, the celebration of the Farmers' Day was moved to November 1st Friday, but then the holiday was still
maintained for December
4th,
okay,
which was to be a Friday. So at IPAC, that's what I heard. The discussion was that because Friday is going to be a holiday and we are going to vote on Monday, why don't we rather shift the holiday from Friday to Monday? So election days are not originally holidays in Ghana.
So election of 2020 was a holiday.
Was a holiday.
And for you, that affected you?
Largely.
But why? People vote in their homes. In their home, they vote in their polling stations.
Yes, per our laws, you don't only vote in your homes.
I know, but generally, people register where they live.
Yes, but I have a lot of people who trade in my constituency. Okanshi, Katamanto,
So they had gone back to their homes. So they were not around on election day.
Exactly.
So if it was an election day, it would have been easier. If it was a normal day, they would be at work doing their business and they'll take a break and vote.
Perfect.
It's part of the reasons you think you lost.
It's largely the reason why I lost.
But could it also be the popularity of you, the candidate? Are you sure you're popular?
Umar, the Nibana brand in Odododiodioo is huge. If you consider the fact that I came to meet a deficit of 21,000 in 2012, brought it to 9,800 and something, brought it to 6,500. In a largely NDC stronghold, I don't think I've done any worse. I think my brand is good, and the brand is. I don't think it's about my popularity, because as it stands now, I think I'm on top of it.
You said something, an NDC stronghold. I don't know. Is it fair to describe Odododiodioo as an NDC stronghold? You've won that seat before.
Yes,
how many times?
Once.
Only once.
Yes.
That was Mankata.
No, that was Nibia Ibonte.
Nibia Ibonte.
Yes.
After Mankata's death.
No. So
I'm trying to remember your history.
Nibi was MP in 2000. In 2004, he lost to Mankata. Mankata, 6 months into his term, passed on. So there was a by-election. Then the NPP chose to bring a different candidate from Nibi.
And that's when you started losing the
And
seat.
we started losing again.
And
but before Nibi
since.
came, it was the NDC that had it with Okanja Adamafield.
So you've only had one MPP.
One MPP.
Could it be that it's an NDC place, so forget about it? The
I
party
think
itself is not popular, the Ngamashi.
The party, I would say, you see, let's not say it that way. Over the years, I believe that it is a collective effort that if people at a point lost hope in Odododiodioo, including the constituents, as far as NPP is concerned. But my coming into the picture changed the perception and changed the dynamics. And from there, we've made much inroads. We've made that collective effort, we've had that collective effort to bring the party to where it is now. And I believe strongly that if you look at the fact that in the last 4 elections, we've not really won, it makes the place a safe haven for NDC. But I can assure you, it's something that we started, something that we've built over the years. And in 2024, that will be.
It's funny because Manchagbona is usually the place where all the parties do their rallies. Your party does rallies there too. But it's difficult for you to win that seat. I don't know. Are you sure you have a chance
to win
as a party?
Which seats?
Odododiodioo.
It's possible. Umar, like I said, in 2020, more than 18,000 people in our strongholds didn't turn out to vote. And the voter turnout in our strongholds, I mean, the market areas, was between 45 to 55%. If you look at the NDC strongholds, which are the residential areas, the turnout was between 75 to 95%. And you could easily tell that our people were. And you see, one thing we need to factor into this is the fact that the holiday was even declared. Everybody was expecting that Friday was going to be a holiday.
And it was moved to Monday.
It was moved to Monday on the Wednesday before the Monday for voting. So it was just 5 days to the elections.
I see.
And that thing came in. So
you've lost the seat twice, or the constituency twice. What if an MPP person says, listen, Nibana is not the guy for us. We have gone to war with him as our general. He's tasted defeat twice. Hanwachakimi. What would you say to that person?
I'll say to that person, check the records. Check the Nibana's track record over the years, and check the records of all the candidates that we have presented over the years. And you could tell that NPP needs a consistent candidate to pursue this. NPP needs somebody to do it over and over again, because the seat is not for us. And that is what the party has done with me. The party, the people, they've nurtured me. They've been part of this journey. They've been part of what we started. And they've brought me to this stage where we are on the verge of taking the seat. I don't think it will be prudent to go into this election with a new candidate. It is not possible. It is not possible. Every candidate that we have presented over the years had increased the vote rather. It moved from 4,000 in the day of Nibi to 7,000 in the days of Ajesoa to 21,000 plus with Captain Okankwe. It took me to come into the picture to drop from 21, difference between the NDC and the NPP, from 21,000 to 9,000 and now 6,000. And you think a new candidate can do better? No. You need that consistency. You need that nurturing of a candidate who can. And you see, most of the time, the people that come, they are not in touch with their constituents. I am a local boy, and that is what the NDC has been using to beat us. We bring in the candidates who are not really resident in the constituency, and then we don't win the elections.
But you are from there.
I stay there. Most of them they are indigenous as well.
Where's your house?
My house, I have about 5 family houses in Odododiodioo.
Okay, so you mean we can find you if we wanted to look for you? We go to
I'm always in Odododiodioo, every day.
The NDC hasn't done its primaries in your constituency, interestingly. Does that mean anything to you?
It looks like they are a little confused. Let me put it this mildly. I am hoping that the confusion that is in there will not disrupt the peace and stability that we have in the constituency. We are not looking at them. We are focused on what we have to deliver. We are focused on the mandate of delivery of the for the NPP. So in the state they are now, they are confused. They've had elections all over, but in Odododiodioo, there's some form of confusion in the minds of the NDC.
Your constituency is a fishing constituency. Premix fuel is a big deal in our fishing sector. Premix fuel is a political issue. It's an election issue. You were in charge of, was it Premix fuel?
Yeah.
What was that under the first Akufo-Addo government?
Yes.
What were you doing? What role were you playing?
I was the chairman of the National Premix Fuel Committee.
So you were supposed to be in charge of distributing premix?
Yes, exactly.
Why were you sacked or removed or replaced or not appointed again?
Thank you so much. I wasn't sacked. I wasn't removed. The fact is that per the LI that regulates the premix administration, you can serve as a chairman, you can serve 2-year terms.
Okay, so 4 years in total.
4 years in total. And after that, you cannot be there. So I wasn't sacked. I served from 2017 February. It was renewed in 2019. And then in 2021 February, it ended. So that is what it is. I wasn't sacked. I served all my terms favorably. And my track record is there. I was very efficient, very effective. A lot of innovations and all that. I led the innovation to bring in the digitization of the premix, which is being done now.
What digitization is that?
Yeah, to digitize the outlets so that it will minimize the diversions,
the hoarding
and all that, so that you can track anywhere whatever amount of water was sent to a particular place, see what is in the tank, or what has been sold, who was it sold to, was the canoe registered and all that. It took me to initiate.
Were you also there when they changed the color to blue, or that was before you guys came?
It has always been blue.
It has always been blue. And I think there was a time that they decided to make it blue.
It's a combination of chemicals.
Okay.
And the blue is added to it to distinguish it from the other.
Yeah, I think that happened under the NDC government.
If there is a shortage of that color, definitely
it will go to the original color. Do you not think that premix is going to be a problem and has always been a problem for you in that constituency among fisher folks?
I can't speak.
Because you've politicized the premix. In fact, they say that you have put party people there and they don't get the premix, and for them, they just want premix to go to sea.
Umar, it's not true.
It's not true.
Premix, the LI 2233 that regulates premix fuel establishes who can man the premix outlet. Mm-hmm. It is not for nothing that the LI is in place. And unfortunately or fortunately, we came to implement that LI. When the NDC was in power, they didn't implement that LI. The LI was passed in their time, but we came to meet it and had to implement it. And it shows clearly who can be on the premix committee at the local level. Mm. So it cannot be politicized. It's something that is regulated by law.
So you can't put party boys there?
As to who is a party boy?
Okay. The diversion bit, you are saying that it has been sorted out.
As far as I was concerned at the time, we were able to bring it down to a large extent, such that in my last 3 years, there was 0 incidents of premix diversion, and the records are there for you to check.
The Ministry of Fisheries now has introduced something called the closed season. Are your fishermen happy with that?
It started in our time.
Yes. Are your fishermen in your constituency happy? Would that not affect you again?
No. The fishers are happy about it because, you see, Ghana, as it stands now, we've lost about 85% of our fish stock. We are just around 15 to 20% of our fish stock. And if this continues in the next 5 years, it means that we are going to go so low that it will take us more than 50 years to recoup whatever we had for the fishers to even get fish for us on our tables. So if the closed season is not introduced, the closed season is such that the fishers will give the sea some form of reprieve for the fishes to be able to spoon. And it is given at the time when the fishes are expected to spoon, between July and September, where the fishes are expected to spoon and to, let me say, multiply.
That's when they give birth.
That's when they give birth.
For the simple English.
Exactly. So the fact is that...
So they don't catch the baby fish?
No.
I mean, so that you don't catch the baby fish.
Exactly.
So you let them grow.
Let them grow. And give the fishes to the opportunity. So you don't catch the pregnant fishes too as well.
Okay.
So that they can lay their eggs and give birth and all that. So it is a good thing that we have to continue. I don't think the fishers, they now understand it and they have appreciated it and they have accepted it. So I don't think it's something that will work against us.
Someone has just sent me a message. He says, Odododiodioo, like Lejokuku, Krowo, and all coastal towns use Premix. The government even built wharfs and subsidized nets and outboard machines and still lost almost all their coastal seats. How? Titus Glover lost, Okoboy lost, you lost, and then you lost Ablekuma South. Are you sure it is not a problem you have? Maybe there's something you are getting wrong in the fishery sector?
No, I think the dynamics differed from every constituency. And I took the opportunity to do a thorough investigation, or let me say, a thorough...
investigation or research?
Assessment of my loss. And I know it is not based on the premix.
It's not premix
at all. In the sense that recently, even yesterday, those that went to pick the forms for me were fisher folks and market women.
Okay.
They made the larger part of the people that took my forms for me. And it is there for you to know. In my constituency, it is not about any Okoboy's constituency. If you remember, the people were speaking about him not attending funerals, outdoors. The people spoke.
I can't harm or not.
That I know Okoboy, but
I know, but that's what it's also part of what they said.
And so you can attest to the fact that the dynamics are different. He lost for a different reason. I lost for a different reason. I am sure my brother Bernard Brown lost for a different reason. Honorable Afolekwe lost for a different reason. Titus Glover lost for a different reason. Because there were other people who won.
Okay. In 30 seconds, Uemo Gan, speak to your delegates in Odododiodioo as to why they should choose you again. I'm referring to NPP delegates.
Me nga mofemo ni mi ba mofemo de omanye.
Nina mo yo.
Beka ne nyemi ni bana ni yo bia ni.
Okay.
Makpanye fai. Wo politics enu wo fio. Fema ke nye fe nye feta ni nhye nye bomodin nye wa nye nechami nye ke me hye ni nhye esa wo ya wo sese hie wo ya ni tumole wotu ehwe fio ni wo ba chi wo gbe shi nye feta he fema ke di tumo ni wotu o be pie e a unto fio o ba na moku na no ba titi moku ba si fe ke ha party no ya no ke bala ke ko le moku eto na ni se fio alon ton no fio alon church bo fio e fe won kwa ni wo ke wa party e ko le ya ngona si sanu wo kwa wo party e wo ni waya wonye je wo sese wo ya enu wo jeke enu wo ba she esa anu wo ko wo se agbene won makpa fai Umar, if you give me the opportunity there are can speaking people in my constituency, the Dagbani and all that, but I can only restrict myself to the I can
20 seconds.
Okay, me pamu nyina acho nin banani me sraka se ye nyina e osno nti na ye NPP party no enti se ya nuanom no de ntokwa beba obi beti obi na so obi be ka obi beti obi ni nyina no na party ni nido enti na ye enti me sram nyina se ebia me ni ye bi aka obi ana se meti obi na so ni nyina na party ni dwuma o enye se ebia obi ahyeda na o pro obi ana se o obi boni ni nyina no ye hwe party no bia ye du no ye timi nko ye chi o ye fi 21,000 ye dey about 9,000 ye dey about 6,000 me sram akaka cry bet me dia ye dey be hwe form enti mun na mun ta mechi na ye koye nim na ye nye adwuma no medam ase nyame hia mu nyina
eye ni Lante Bannerman
ni bana
ni Lante Bannerman ni bana ni na moti ye no. He is NPP flag parliamentary hopeful for Odododiodioo constituency. Thank you for joining us for Point Blank.
Thank you.